Hello students, my name is Alok Semwal and in today's lecture I am going to discuss about detailed instrumentation of gas chromatography. Main parts of the instrument include carrier gas cylinder, sample injection system, separating column, detectors, thermostated chamber, an amplifier or recorder system, and last one, display unit. So first part of the instrument includes carrier gas and carrier gas cylinder. Carrier gases in gas chromatography are used to move the solutes through the column. Here in this diagram you can see a carrier gas cylinder. This cylinder is fitted with a pressure controller to control the pressure of gas, a pressure gauge that indicates the pressure, a molecular sieve to transfer filtered dry gas, and a flow regulator to ensure a constant rate of flow of mobile phase to the column. An ideal carrier gas should meet the following criteria. It should be chemically inert, should be cheap and readily available, should be of high quality and not cause any fire accidents, should give best possible results, and should be suitable for the sample to be analyzed and for the detector. Helium, hydrogen, and nitrogen are the most widely used gases. Nitrogen provides the best efficiency but is extremely slow. Helium provides good efficiency and analysis times but is an expensive choice for a carrier gas. Inlet pressure ranges from 10 to 50 psi and the flow rate is selected on the basis of column selected. Flow rate is selected on the basis of column selected. For packed columns, flow rate is kept in between 25 to 150 ml per minute, and in case of open tubular column, flow rate is kept in between 2 to 25 ml per minute. Second part is sample injection system. Sampling unit or injection port is usually attached to the column head. Since the sample should be in vaporized state, the injection port is attached with an electric oven that helps to maintain its temperature at about 20 to 50 degrees Celsius above the boiling point of the sample. Gaseous samples usually introduced by the use of a hypodermic needle of 0.5 to 10 ml capacity. For liquid samples, microsyringes of 0.1 to 100 microliter capacity are used. Now, application of samples into capillary columns. Various techniques are used to insert the sample into the capillary columns. These include split injections, splitless injections, on-column injections, and automatic injections. First is split injection. Split injections splits the volume of sample. So first technique include split injections. Split injections splits the volume of sample stream into two unequal flows by means of a needle valve and allow the smaller flow to pass on the columns and the bigger part is allowed to be vented to the atmosphere. This technique is not suitable when highest sensitivity is required. Second technique include splitless injectors. Splitless injectors allow all the sample to pass through the column for loading. In this injector technique, samples should be very dilute to avoid overloading of the column. On-column injectors. These injectors are perfect for liquids and gases with high and low boiling analytes. In this technique, injector syringe with a very fine quartz needle is used. These injectors are air cooled to -20 degrees Celsius below the boiling point of the sample. After then, the warmer air is circulated to vaporize the sample. Last one include automatic injectors. For improving the quality of the chromatographic run and for better reproducibility, automatic injectors are used. These injectors also provide suitability of analysis of large numbers of samples. Next important part of the instrument is separating column. A chromatographic column is a device used in chromatography for the separation of chemical compounds. A chromatographic column contains the stationary phase, allowing the mobile phase to pass through it. Chromatographic columns of different types are used in both gas and liquid chromatography. These columns are of different shapes and sizes that include U-tube type or coiled helix type. They are usually made up of copper, stainless steel, aluminium, glass, nylon, and other synthetic plastics. Column support material. Main function of the column support material is to provide mechanical support to the liquid phase. An ideal support material should have a large surface area, chemically inert, should get uniformly wet with liquid phase, and should be thermostable. Commonly used solid phases are diatomaceous earth or kieselguhr, glass beds, porous polymers, sand, etc. Diatomaceous earth or kieselguhr is a form of silica. Its main function is to provide mechanical support to the liquid phase. Next is liquid phase. In gas chromatography, the liquid phase, also called as the stationary phase. It provides the medium in which the separation occurs. Liquid phase used in gas chromatography should be inert, non-volatile, structurally similar to that of solute, and should have high decomposition temperature. Examples of different liquid phases include various categories. These categories are non-polar hydrocarbon phases. Examples of liquids in this category include paraffin oil, silicon rubber gum, etc. Next category, polar compounds having polar groups. Example of liquids in this category are polyglycols. Next category is of liquids having hydrogen bonding. Examples of liquids in this category include glycol, glycerol, and hydroxy acids. Next are types of columns used in gas chromatography. There are two general types of columns, packed and capillary columns. First of all, packed columns. In gas-liquid chromatography, they are densely packed with finely divided inert solid support material coated with liquid stationary phase. In gas-solid chromatography, the columns are packed with adsorbents or porous polymers. Length of packed columns varies in between 1.5 to 10 meter and internal diameter remains in between 2 to 4 mm. Second one, capillary columns. Capillary columns are columns that have stationary phase coating their inner surfaces rather than being packed into the cavity. Length of capillary columns ranges in between 10 to 100 meter, and their inner diameter is usually in between 0.1 to 0.5 mm. Capillary columns mainly are of two types: wall-coated columns and support-coated columns. Wall-coated columns. These columns consist of a capillary tube whose walls are coated with liquid stationary phase. In support-coated columns, the inner wall of the capillary is lined with a thin layer of support material such as diatomaceous earth, onto which the stationary phase has been absorbed. Both types of capillary columns are more efficient than packed columns. Following diagram is showing different types of columns used in gas chromatography. First one is porous layer open tubular column. Second one is packed capillary column. And third one is wall coated open tubular column. Next is equilibrium of the column. The packed columns are equilibrated before introduction of the sample. This is done by allowing continuous flow of heated carrier gas through the column for a specific duration of time, usually 24 hours, at prescribed temperature. Column temperature. Column temperature can be a very important parameter for controlling retention and selectivity in liquid chromatographic separations. Temperature can be controlled by jackets equipped with vapors of a boiling liquid, electrically heated metal blocks, or circulating air baths. Compounds of low boiling point generally eluted at lower temperature, while compounds with high boiling point boils at high temperature, resulting in broader peaks, so they require temperature programming. Next important part of the instrument is detector. The eluted solute particles along with the carrier gas exit from the column and enter the detector. The detector then provides electrical signals proportional to the concentration of the components of solute. The signals are amplified and recorded as peaks at intervals on the chromatograph. Detectors used in gas chromatography should be reliable, stable, and reproducible. Detectors used in gas chromatography includes thermal conductivity detector, electron capture detector, flame ionization detector, and flame photometric detector. Thermal conductivity detector. The thermal conductivity detector is universally used in gas chromatography but has moderate sensitivity. This detector senses changes in the thermal conductivity of the column effluent and compares it to a reference flow of carrier gas. This detector is based upon the alteration of the thermal conductivity of the carrier gas in the presence of an organic compound. Detector is composed of gas flow unit connected with platinum wires. The platinum wires are heated electrically and assume equilibrium conditions of temperature and resistance when carrier gas alone passes over them. They are mounted in a Wheatstone bridge arrangement, and when a compound emerges, the thermal conductivity of the gas surrounding wire alters, and hence the temperature and resistance of the wire change with the output of balance signal, which is amplified and recorded. Working of thermal conductivity detector. When only carrier gas flows, heat loss to metal block is constant, and that's why filament remains constant. But when an analyte species flows past the filament, generally thermal conductivity changes, thus resistance changes, which is sensed by Wheatstone bridge arrangement. The imbalance between control and sample filament temperature is measured and a signal is recorded. Thermal conductivity detectors have several advantages, like they are simple and inexpensive in nature, they are durable and possesses long shelf life, and they produce accurate results. Disadvantages include their lower sensitivity and they are easily affected by fluctuations in temperature and flow rate. Next detector is electron capture detector. An electron capture detector is a device for detecting atoms and molecules in a gas through the attachment of electrons via electron capture ionization. Usually those molecules of compounds which possess affinity for electrons differ in their electron absorbing capabilities, and this unique difference is utilized in this detector for identification of the compounds. Construction. These detectors, usually made up of a radioactive metal such as nickel 63, which is placed inside a Teflon coated cell which also contains a cathode and an anode. In the absence of organic species, the produced electrons migrate towards positive electrode and generates a certain constant standing current. While when a sample or eluent is present, it captures the electrons, elutes from column, which results in a drop in this constant current. The potential across two electrodes is adjusted to collect all the ions, and a steady saturation current is therefore recorded. Following are the references for this lecture. Thank you.